Welcome to the Athletes in Motion podcast, from race to recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. We have another great episode here.
Yeah.
It's just us this time.
Yep.
I figured we'd talk about a couple of things. But first of all, let's get some business out of the way. Leave some reviews, 5 stars, thumbs up, give us all of that. Great feedback. Keep sending in some emails. I think we accept text messages on our Buzzsprout website. So you can also text into. Keep that up. We really appreciate all you listening and sharing it, and that gets the algorithms up and gets it out to more people. So we're doing okay. We're on, I don't know, episode 78, 79, somewhere in there. Year
Worldwide.
5.
Hello to Germany.
Having fun doing this. We really appreciate you. So today, and we have some great guests coming up too. Coming up in the next couple of weeks. Lots of content this year. Situational awareness. This is something that is probably, if you've worked with me, you know that it's probably one of the top things that I won't say drives me crazy, but it's. I get on my soapbox about situational awareness. It's easy for me to say.
Not easy to do.
Not easy to do. And the thing that it comes up right now, what brought it to my attention yet again, is as we're going into race weekend. Yep. So we're going into this weekend for a lot of folks that are racing here locally. It's Chattanooga 70.3. So talking with athletes about going into transitions. Not just transitions, but going into the aid stations, especially on the bike. And this is where it all kind of stemmed from. And so situational awareness is just that, is being aware of your surroundings while you're there. It's something you can do. I think it's a life skill.
And I
really do.
And to kind of put a bigger term on it, right? The notion is, you stop at an aid station. A lot of people are hyper-focused on, I've got to get my time, I got to get my fuel, what am I going to do? Am I in my head or behind? Yep. And then they pull over to an aid station. 1, they don't pull over all the way. Yeah. And then 2, when they go to leave, they just
kind of back out into traffic.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's, a bunch of people ripping by at, 20 plus miles an hour. Yeah. And that leads to a very dangerous situation. Yes. Even like at the beginning of the bike stage, where people are trying to figure out how to get their Garmin turned on their bike, and they're weaving all over the place.
Let's go right. You get out of the swim.
Yeah.
Right. You get into transition. You're ripping your wetsuit off if you're in a wetsuit legal. You're throwing it wherever.
Yep.
Stripping it off, and if you don't get the benefit of having a wetsuit stripper at the end of the swim, so then you get on your bike and you get out to the mountain line.
Yeah.
First big area of craziness is that everyone thinks you have to go to the mountain line, cross it, and stop right there.
Yep.
Not paying attention to anybody that's around you.
Yeah.
People coming up behind you, everything. So I always tell everyone, run past the craziness. Go out and over, get out of your way, but look around you. That's that situational awareness of knowing who's around you as you're coming to that line. And I know we've got a lot going on, especially first-timers. Maybe it's because I've done so many of these that it's slightly easier. But, I mean, you experienced the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part is definitely, it's a bike is probably the most dangerous, right? I mean, in the water, you get slapped around a little bit. It'd be nice. Situational awareness is kind of a little bit more difficult in the water.
That's a little tricky.
But definitely on the bike is kind of the crux of the whole thing, right? That's the point where you can wind up in an ambulance if it's not done.
Oh,
correctly,
totally,
right?
yeah.
So
you could take somebody else out, or you could get taken out.
And what makes it even worse is when you're on an active road where they put a cone on the center of the road where cars are coming the other direction. If you're weaving, trying to either get your water bottle or trying to correct something, or you kind of pop out, the reaction immediately is to try to avert that, and that could, you can come into oncoming traffic. So this is a non-trivial kind of thing. It's nobody wants to wind up in a hospital. Nobody wants to wind up on the ground. And it's something where it's so easily solved, which is what cracks me up. This isn't like I got to go learn a skill. It's like I got to turn my head.
Yeah.
I mean, It's like, why would you do that? You don't do that in a car. You
Yeah.
don't do that in, well, some people do. Maybe that's the problem.
Well,
But
yeah.
most people don't do that
Most
in a
people
car.
don't do
And it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Except this time you're wearing Lycra and there's, concrete right there. So that's the part that's scary. It's that, and as a person going through, if you're going to skip the aid station, that's great. If that's, you don't need
That's
it,
fine.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
And there's some level of participation on that person as well, as not to go, maybe 30 through that aid station is not what you need to do to get your PR.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going to gain that much
Correct.
for that short little stretch that's happening there. You just stay left. Make sure you shout out that you're on the left.
Yeah.
Although most people don't realize what side left is.
Yeah.
As they do that, that's part of it. But I mean, the aid state. If you're doing an Ironman race, their athlete guide is great about laying out what the aid station is going to look like for the bike, what color shirts they're going to be wearing, what's coming up first.
Yeah.
You're going to get the Morton, you're going to get the electrolyte, you're going to get the whatever, all in that, and water, and you're going to get all of that in line. So as you're coming up, the aid station's coming up. It doesn't just magically appear on you. So you've got an idea that it's coming up. At that point, that's where you have to pay attention to what you have, what bottles you're going to discard, what you're going to pick up, who's around you at that time. And certainly if you're a faster athlete and you're coming up on somebody, you need to be aware of that. I mean, that's your responsibility if you're coming up on somebody. Now, if they brake check you, that's a different story, right? Yeah. But you have to be prepared for that. So the idea is that you're going to let people know that you're coming up behind them. I always tell everyone, like, when you get there, you want a specific item, start yelling it out.
Yeah.
They're
absolutely
great. I mean, that really helps the volunteers because they'll tell you, no, it's down further, it's down further, it's down further. That way you didn't miss it. Like I want Morton with caffeine. I want caffeine, right? They've got the 2 packets. They'll give you the right one. So
and that's a great point. I mean, the volunteers are there to help.
Oh yeah.
And so let them know what you need help with. Like, hey, Gatorade. Oh, that's down here. Gatorade's down there. That way it keeps that traffic flow.
Keeps the flow.
And it's just sort of what cracks me up is the people that just like stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, you know, I mean, there's a bunch of people that, the whole table, you don't stop at the front of the table. I mean, find a spot that makes sense,
go
if
around
you need to pull
people.
over. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that happens on the run too, where people will stop at the beginning of a water station. Let's stop. And there's like, hey, there's people behind you. So I think that's the thing. It's difficult to get out of that. I do a lot of training individually, right? I'm on my own. I'm by myself.
Yep.
But when you get out in a crowd and you're trying to do that, I mean, it's like anything else. We just need to be able to look around, understand what's going on. Practice it in a grocery store, please.
Oh, totally.
That way,
like at Costco, right? When you get the
I'm asking you, like when you go to Costco, stop. Don't stop in the middle of the aisle.
Don't stop.
Please stop.
Well, that's it. I like the ones that actually will take the cart, push it off to the side in front of you while they walk the opposite direction to go get whatever free food they were going to get.
There's the people at the aid station that are like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Stop.
It's like, my bike's sideways.
Look at like who's coming, and that's where I say it's a life skill. It's like practice it in the grocery store, practice it when you're out anywhere. I mean, I'm sure the female athletes are a little bit more aware of it because they're very sensitive to who's around, what's out there while they're out training, especially by themselves. Yeah. So this is a life skill for everybody to just be aware of what's around. You want to look for exits. You want to, emergency situations. You want to have a little better idea of where you're actually at, which is hard to do when we're so zoned in on our race.
Yeah, and I think the challenge can be sometimes too is when you spend a lot of time riding, it's important to understand your bike handling skills, as you start and stop, right? And that's probably where, you're going 18 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, whatever, and someone says on the left, most people are kind of used to that. Oh, okay, they're on the left, keep to the right, everything's good. It's that practicing sort of how to do a nice, stay in your lane, right? How to kind of continue to get on your bike in a kind of an efficient sort of way, be able to move on your bike in an efficient sort of way. So you need to practice just bike handling skills at low speed.
Yes.
I can clip in nicely. I'm not moving all over the place. I'm not, doing those things. To your point, that 300 feet and whether or not your Garmin's on or off isn't going to determine whether or not it's going to be accurate on on your bike,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just, take time. I know my first triathlon, just because I'm not an expert on this, right? My first triathlon scared.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I get on, get out of the water, I get on my bike, I did the exact same thing. Everything I said not to do, I was doing, which is got on my bike, and I thought I have to hit my Garmin now.
Yeah.
And I started going into a ditch because it was like, it was a, shallow ditch, but I start, and I'm like, I got decent bike handling skills, but I'm so like, okay, you got to do it now, do it now. Like, so I understand the adrenaline's hitting and you're trying to do all that. And then the Garmin actually dropped off my bike because I hit a bump.
Yeah.
And then I'm like an idiot. I'm like, wait, I'm racing. I can't stop and grab my Garmin. So I just left and think I could just go pick it up when I get back.
Yeah.
Like, that's how stupid I was on this thing. Like, gotta go. I can't stop. That's going to affect my time. Like I was going to get on the podium.
Yeah.
But it was just some crazy kind of notion. And I think the big lesson there was just slow down. Everything doesn't have to happen right at that line.
Yeah.
And practice those bike handling skills. Make sure that you know how to kind of handle stuff at low speed.
And the bike is easier to handle when it's moving forward.
Correct.
Like if you get past that mount line and you get on the bike at that point, but you're not moving forward, you're going to tip over.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like, or swerve violently. So the idea is practice getting on and off, like starting and stopping, because it's a matter of stepping forward, getting your foot clicked in, pushing the pedal back, pushing off, getting some momentum, then you can get on the bike, clip the other shoe in, and start going. I mean, that's if you're doing having your shoes, if you're really good and you're having your shoes clipped on already on there, then you're just pushing down on the top of them, but you have to push off to get the bike rolling. One of my favorite sayings is, see if I can actually get it right today. What is it? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah.
That's the thinking. In this panic mode of frantic thing, we're not going any faster than if we just stop, settle down, and go smoothly through it. Smoothly through it will keep you that way. So we should get T-shirts with that on it.
There you go.
But that's part of what you need. That's what you need to be thinking of, this frantic stress mode that we're in. It's being a little bit more aware of your surroundings and going through the process that way of just being aware.
Yeah, and I think the other aspect of it is predictability, right? And I think that's a part where people get in trouble, is when you do kind of crazy Ivans, Hunt for Red October fans out there showing my age. But that's the idea of like most athletes and most people in races expect other people to do just what you said. Hey, I'm going to get on, I'm going to kind of scooch forward, do those. It's those unpredictable moves and unpredictability where it's like, I mean, I've seen some people that went too far. The water was, I think it was water first and then Gatorade. I forgot which order, but they would be at the wrong table. Yeah. And they're like, oh, and then they would try to spin their bike around.
Yeah, stop
and it's
to
like,
go back.
What? Just that kind of unpredictability is what causes the chaos.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, go in cleanly, try to figure out what you need and efficiently, to your point. Slow, smooth is fast. And then you just kind of scooch forward. If 9 times out of 10, what happens is it's somebody that just doesn't know how to handle the bike, or they're just unpredictable, or they think they have greater skill than they do. I saw a guy thought he could do a hot handoff where you can ride through, grab the bottle, and not get off his bike, and end up just mousetrapping himself. Because you can clearly tell he hasn't practiced it, but it looked really cool on the pros. And so hung on to it and just literally just hit the deck.
If you watch how many pros drop those bottles because they're coming through at such a high speed, slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
grab that bottle. It is not easy. Practice it. Like have somebody stand out there with a bottle, come by and see how difficult that is. They're not allowed to run with you.
Yeah.
If they could run with you, it would be great. But then there's more cyclists coming, so they have to just hold the bottle out there, and you need to be able to grab it. It's going to be, it's going to have condensation on the outside of it. It's going to be slippery.
Yep.
You're going to grab it because they're popped the top over it. And you're going to squeeze it. It's going to collapse in your hand. The water's going to come shooting straight up, and you're going to be like, what's going on?
If you haven't practiced it, the race isn't the time to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely not the time.
Then
slow down a little bit more, but once again, be aware of who's around you and get over to the right. And it's scary for the volunteers as well. I mean, that scares the crap out of them.
Well, and they have a sense of responsibility. Imagine that poor volunteer hanging onto the bottle, and then you hit the deck right in front of him. You're like, oh my gosh, did I do that? It's like, well, no, the guy grabbed the bottle, too hard, didn't have good bike handling skills, thought he would look really cool, and
grabbed a whole bunch of front brake because you're grabbing front brake as your right hand is coming out to grab stuff, and all of a sudden you throw yourself over.
If you haven't practiced it, don't do it. Just do that. So
it takes a little getting used to, but it's all doable. It's just slowing down just a little bit.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. I mean, low speed, kind of keep practicing that stuff. Know how to get your water bottle out of your cage without zippy do it on around. Make sure you have a logical way you can look down at your Garmin. If you need, get to know your or whatever you use for your bike computer. Know what that is. If you have a bike computer, that you're not, kind of trying to stare down for multiple seconds at a time.
Keep looking down the road.
And if it's screwed up or something's going on, when you get to the next aid station, that's a good time to do it. It's going to take you an extra 30 seconds, but who cares, right? You're trying to finish the race nicely. You're not trying to.
If you do need to pull off, use the restroom, the porta potties or something like that, there's space for that. Just make sure that you let people know that you're slowing and stopping and pull over to the side, away from the volunteers. You get in a nice safe spot and just aim yourself into that point. So just be aware of that. But you can let people know, like you should be doing on a group ride, slowing. I'm slowing, yell that out over your shoulder so that the people behind you should be aware. They hear that at least wakes them up a little bit to know that you're doing that. Now, if you're getting passed by a whole bunch of fast cyclists, right, what do you do? You're freaking out. You got to hold your line. Don't move. Please. Don't change direction. Don't try to change speed. Don't slow down. Don't speed up. You want to just hold your line and stay there, and they will come past you. It might freak you out a little bit. Some of these guys are really fast. Come screaming by with all carbon.
I don't want to brag.
Makes a great sound. Just hold your line. Just stay that line. Don't swerve. Don't try to get out of their way. You just need to be that stationary object that they will come around. Right?
And I'm a horrible swimmer, so I pass a lot of people on the bike. It's predictability. I'm going to be on the left. Can I shout it, 300 times? No. But, if I'm on the left, it's a wide road. Back to predictability. Just let me scooch past you. It's going to be a second and a half. I'm going to be in and out of your way. Right. If you're a slower rider and you're not passing somebody, make sure you stay to the right. I mean, I know that every race director tells you that, but it's critically important because that goes back to that forces the fast rider behind you to have to make a decision they don't want to make, which is either go on the right, which is a big no-no, or have to cross over a line, which is a big no-no. So if you're not passing, stay to the right.
Stay to the right. Now, what do you do if you're passing somebody and you've got a faster rider coming up behind you?
Just keep passing, get over, and fast rider's got to adjust too, right?
Or if there's distance out there and you're going to make that pass and it's going to be a little bit slower than what they're going to do, you can always hesitate a little bit. You can always slow down. Once again, situational awareness to looking over your shoulder before you go over and make the pass. You're coming up on somebody and you're gaining on them. You need to be able to go, hey, who's behind me? Okay, here comes somebody super fast. I'm just going to slow down just a little bit, let them go by, and then I'm just going to go after that.
And if I'm the fast rider in that situation at the time, it's relative, right? So, I'm ripping it, 26, 27 or whatever, because it's a nice downhill or whatever, and I see
as a self-flex.
I'm cruising at 26, watching the 330 watts. But I have to be situationally aware as well. It's not just, I'm a slow rider and and I have to look out for everything, or I'm relatively new.
Ultimately, it's your responsibility.
Correct,
because you're the faster rider.
Because I can very much see it's like, okay, that person looks like they're trying to. You can see they're closing the distance at a way that, all right, I think what they're going to try to do is go to the left. Perfectly fair. I generally at that point I pull up and kind of let that unfold, because again, it's only going to last a couple of seconds. They go around, and then I just kind of go around both of them, settle down, and move forward. But the situation awareness just isn't the person that's being passed. It's also, if you're the one that's got a good day and you're doing great, again, stay to the left on an aid station. Don't shave people. Right. That's the worst. I hate, trying to pull out after you go on a potty break, and you got fast guys that are right in the middle or to the right of the lane. It's like, hey, give me some space here.
You gotta.
because I'm going to catch you and tell you about it. No, I'm kidding. But it's just, that situation awareness goes both directions. It's not just, oh, gee, if you're slow or new or whatever, be aware. Yes. But also if
everyone has to be aware.
If everybody's aware and everybody's sort of predictable, it makes for a really nice race. It makes for a really pleasant experience.
We can all have
for
fun
everybody.
out there together.
Exactly.
We can all have fun.
We don't say, oh, that was awesome, except for that dude that, like that.
Yeah,
right?
we want to avoid that.
And road rash.
Costs, right? Road rash. Yeah. We want the shiny side up.
Yeah, exactly.
Sticky side down. So, and then on the run, same thing. As you're going into a corner, what do you do when you're going into a corner? You're going into a corner. Who has the line? Somebody tries to run up on the inside of you. What do you do?
I don't run that fast, so I get out of the way. So. I'm always the guy on the right. I'm just not that fast of a runner, right? So I think it's the same thing on the bike as on the run for me. It's like etiquette about, let the, they're going to be on the left. They're going to be running much faster. Yeah. And it's harder to hear, obviously, because, soft shoes and stuff. But same etiquette applies. Just, when you're on, if I'm on the right and I'm running slower and there's an aid station on the left, if it's a small, and the same thing, you look around, you don't,
look over your shoulder.
And then, I want a bar.
Yeah.
And then, it's, again, just look around to your point and don't just
I've even chatted with some people as we're running and coming through going like, I'm going to grab the aid station. So if we're close to one another, going through and I'm like, I'm going to hit the aid station. And if he says, yeah, me too, then we kind of, we can go together type of thing. But if he's like, no, I'm skipping it, or I'm skipping it, then I'll tuck behind them so that I'm out of their way. Yeah. It's more for my convenience than anything else, but it ends up helping them as well so that we don't stumble on each other and kind of go through that. It goes the same with the 180 turns that we have to do, bike or run. Like, you're not going to gain anything by coming in hot and taking the corner really low and diving underneath somebody and making the turn and heading back out, because it spins you super wide. So you're going to take people out or yourself out, and you really gain nothing. Like, you gain no extra time on it because you're just wasting energy at that point.
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, sometimes I think the folks that I see that generally get in trouble are the folks that watch too many pro races and thinking they're at that same level, right? Know your capability, which is if you're going around a corner, you haven't practiced in a 180 in a while, especially on a tighter road. Oregon has a great one. It's a kind of a country 2-lane road. It's a 180 uphill. So it's like halfway up the hill, then you do a 180. And again, I tend to ride in the the low 20s. And I know you can just tell the people that are having a hard time. I have to slow down and let some people may be clipping out. That's fine. So just kind of get to your point. Let's just get around the corner. Everyone's cool. I'll zippy-doo-dah past you, and we'll settle in and get my work done. But I mean, if you're going to clip out or you think you don't have the capability, to me, take it wide and sort of let those people that know what they're doing.
Slow.
Again, to your parents, slow is smooth is fast. And if you need to do that, great, do it.
If you can get through that corner smooth, you will be faster than if you dive bomb in on the brakes real late, like Formula One, diving underneath, hooking the corner, trying to get back up to speed again is not gaining you anything.
And it's usually guys that do this too. And the guys that do that are just, what they do is they disrupt everything, right? Because what happens is it makes that person that clipped out incredibly nervous, and they start moving around. It makes the people that are just trying to, be cool about it. It's like, look, buddy, I get it. You're trying to get a PR today, but that corner is not where you're going to lose your PR. Right. So it's going
to be transition.
And you don't look nice. I mean, you act like an idiot, right? Nobody likes that. There was like that guy, and then everyone looks over and like that guy, and then you don't want to be that, right?
No,
it's like,
you don't want to
dude, I'm killing that corner. It's like, no, you didn't. You made everybody, you're annoying.
You're not in Formula One.
Exactly.
You're not getting paid tens of millions hundreds of millions of dollars to drive a.
Lionel Sanders is an hour and a half in front of you. You're not going to catch that guy. So don't worry about it. He's already grabbing a latte while you're trying to figure out how to do a U-turn. Calm it down, buddy. You're going to be fine. So
cool. Great. What else? What else did we take? Situational awareness in the race. That's it.
It goes back to just everything else is practice, right?
And do it, on your group rides, situationally aware. I'm going to try to put a video together about some of the group ride things that I see that drive me crazy, is why I'm not riding in a group anymore.
Yeah.
Or very much.
Yeah.
And half wheeling is probably my biggest pet peeve with that. Once again, be situationally aware of where you're riding in the pack, who's around you. It's great to have conversations, but practice that. Practice knowing what's around, listening for cars, listening for other riders. All of that stuff can happen.
Did you want to get into that?
We can.
Group ride?
We can.
I
definitely want to do a video. I need to record some video with the things you shouldn't do, because I don't think people are totally aware of what half wheeling is. That's when you're not riding right next to somebody, or your front wheel is matched up with their back wheel.
Yeah.
That's half wheeling somebody. That is so dangerous and disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of pushing the pace by not pushing the pace, but not taking the lead. So you should either be right next to the rider, shoulder to shoulder with the rider in a line, or you should be right behind them, directly behind them, not slightly off, not whatever. That's like the most dangerous thing I see out there.
We should definitely do a show just about that, because I've got thoughts.
So. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put our notes together. I'm going to get some video so I can drop it in on our YouTube channel.
That'd be a good
idea. And do that, because there was a really good article I have to pull up as well. It talked about that the etiquette on group rides was disappearing.
I would
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that everybody's out there just hammerfest at this point.
And hey, let us know if there's other annoying things you want us to talk
seriously.
about. Right? That'd be we can rant.
We're all about trying to educate
and
improve our ride and improve our training and just get out there and be safer for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a whole one on just swim etiquette alone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just,
oh, God, yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing, right? It's
swimming in a public pool. Sharing
don't
a
get
lane.
me started.
Don't get me started on all of that.
I don't want to hear public pool. So please.
Swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, so those will be a couple things coming up. So shoot us some notes. Let us know any other hot topics that you would like us to cover, because we're going to throw us in here and our content a little bit as we bring in some other guests and stuff. So got some fun stuff coming up. Anyway, so let us know. Thumbs up, 5 stars, all that good stuff. Keep the comments coming. We really appreciate you all. Kenny, always good.
Tom.
And everyone, we'll catch you on the next one.